Kyle, fourth season at Hemel. I remember doing that very first interview.
Yep, so do I.
Should we cut to what that looks like now?
You can do.
Well, for being at Dunstable for quite some time, yeah, and just being around the men's football environment, they showed me a lot, like the way they've helped me and stuff, and it's just made me realise that with that football there, I need to improve and make a bigger step. Yeah, so this is obviously a bigger step to Dunstable already.
Much more confident these days. 4 years under your belt, 4 years playing in front of this crowd here. What does it mean to you to be entering into your fourth season as a Tudor?
It means a lot. They've been with me for 4 years. I know most of their names. Even when I wasn't playing, I was in the crowd with them. So it's more than just fans, they become my friends. So entering into another year, playing under the fans, it just feels right.
And you were voted Young Player of the Season. That's obviously quite an accolade to get, to be nominated the Young Player of the Season. But also on top of that, the Goal of the Season. Now usually that goes to a goal scorer, but we can certainly call yourself that. And how pleased were you to finish the season, not only off the back of a really good run of games for yourself after a few injuries, but to finish the season with 2 awards and to be in front of the people that you say are now sort of your friends.
Yeah, I was buzzing. To be fair, because obviously the last couple of years haven't been great, through injury wise. So I feel like I haven't had the chance to show what I'm about. So to finish a season and to be presented with a few awards under a good bunch of people, somewhere that feels like home, is always a good thing, especially to get the games I've wanted to play. So it's been a long graft. I've had to be patient, but it's come in the end.
Within that 4-year period, you've had 3 managers and you've had quite a few coaches along the way as well. You've been the most consistent player throughout in terms of being in and around the club. I think you might be the only player here since 2020, other than perhaps David Saunders was around when you joined. But you've seen that change in terms of from Lee to Mark and now to Brad. But what does this management team bring to your game? And certainly, obviously, you've played quite a number of games under them.
Personally, I think they've enhanced me as a player, because you know how football is. Every game's competitive. You play to win, so it's for them to be able to play to win and teach me as a player, all at the same time, is a lot. So, and to be fair, they've been patient with me in times. Little things that I didn't think was wrong with my game, they've found out and then showed me about it. They haven't just come and told me about it, which I wouldn't have understood if they just told me. But then because they've given me the time to show me and work with me, I feel like that means a lot.
And did the season that's just gone, did that give you the confidence that actually you belong playing at this level? Because I think it's fair to say that before now it's been quite inconsistent in terms of seasons that have been stop-start because of COVID, seasons that got ended, seasons that perhaps haven't gone your way because of injury. But was this the season where actually you felt like you got that run of games and you thought, actually, this is where I belong?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like because, like you said, I was a bit inconsistent. When I was inconsistent and playing, I felt like I was playing to see how I was as a player. But now getting the run of games, I feel like I've started to build my own role into the team. So that you wouldn't get if you wasn't playing. So that's what I think they've brought into my game as well.
With this squad that Brad's starting to assemble, what does it mean to you to see? Obviously, we've got the likes of Josh Hill who are gonna be here, Montel as well, Kalen when he comes back from his injury, but to see the club retain players like Craig King, someone that you've got a good relationship with, and is an integral part of your game. How important and how nice is it to see that those people will be around for you and your game this season?
It's good. It helps a lot having the good people around you, and especially when everyone's on the same page. Me as a defender, the main thing for me is always having a voice behind me, because if you're always looking forward, you need someone telling you what's going on behind. And Craig's always been good at that.
He certainly does tell you, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he does tell me, yeah. Even if we're arguing during the game, off the pitch, like, it's good to hear that. Because I'd rather you tell me instead of just go silent on me. And especially like players like Josh around me, I'm going to learn a lot from him. And even, like, again, off the pitch, on the pitch, he's going to tell me. He's not just going to let me make my mistakes and then carry on making my mistakes. So it's good to have the good players around, and especially as friends. Like, off the pitch, you've got to enjoy being around people to be able to run for them on the pitch. That's what I believe.
And you referenced Josh there, being in an integral part. He brought some real leadership qualities to the side when he joined. Obviously, unfortunate that he got injured when he did, but how integral is he going to be within the dressing room for you as a collective of players, but also alongside you, hopefully, in that centre-back position?
Yeah, as a collective, he's a good presence. He's a good laugh, but then when he wants to be serious, he will be serious. And that's what you need, because you need to be able to switch off at any moment. And me playing alongside him, I've learned a lot, because just from simple things, being patient on the ball, the things that he's got naturally in his game that I would want to add to my game, I've taken that in only a few games already. So playing the whole season under him, that'd be good.
And the gaffer has obviously talked to you about his plans for pre-season and for the season ahead. May have mentioned a few targets, so you don't need to mention on camera. But some of those things that he may have sold to you in a way to kind of convince you to stay. Is that something that you are excited about in terms of actually the potential of this team and the potential of what and who he wants to bring in?
Yeah, especially the way he is. He's an honest person, so it's like when he said things, it's happened. So when he's talking about the plans we've got for pre-season, it just makes you want to start getting ready now, even though this is off-season. So looking forward to pre-season, and then to start the season is always good, because you don't want to just start the season. That's how sometimes you don't start as great as you want. But if you start the pre-season good, then the season should kick on.
One of those targets that he talked about, I'm sure, to players like yourself, was George Williams, and George is obviously signed for us now. How important, and how, George is a very experienced player. There's no hiding that fact. How important would that be for you as a group of players? Because actually it seemed as if, he's coming on loan. There was no ego, nothing like that, in terms of he just came in, got his head down and played. How important is that for you as players to be able to draw on some of that experience from the likes of him?
It's very important. Like you said, like, some players could come in and their ego is bigger than their performance. And he's come in and showed how good of a player he is, instead of just being himself. So that's always a plus. And especially being around him, is a good lad. So it's like him being a good lad, and then on the pitch just as good. It's always a bonus.
So the season is quite a few weeks away, but how buzzing are you to get back in front of these fans and kickstart a new season? Because I'm sure, like everyone in this league, everyone is going to be aiming for playoffs, and everyone has got that feeling that they can do it. But there will be some big fixtures for us to go to, the likes of Torquay, Yeovil. But how excited are you to kind of get going and maybe test yourself against some of those sides?
I'm buzzing. I always say I'm buzzing.
It's your favourite word.
Yeah, it might be. But I'm just as excited as ending the season. As soon as the season ended, I know we all need our break, we need to recover, but I wanted to just carry on going. You said there's a few teams coming down, which are big names, but in my eyes, the team's a team. Like, obviously, there's going to be teams that are playing better than others, but I would just play them like normal. So yeah, like, just as excited. Probably after this, I'll go practice my celebrations. But yeah.
And finally, if there's a message that you can give the Tudors fans over the course of this off season to try and get them up for the coming season, not that they need much encouragement, but you talk to me about actually wanting to get your own megaphone.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, you want to get your own megaphone. So
yeah,
what would your message be right now if you had a rallying call on your megaphone to the fans?
I'd say save your voices for the start of the season, because we need you from the start to the end, just how you have been. But we need you louder this year than any other year.